Hey, this is Matt, and today we are back with a new video on content creation. So, AI content, which is sort of like a new thing that's been happening throughout the last year or so, it's been blowing up all over the place. People are creating all kinds of stuff, and it's really, really interesting. But a lot of the content is spammy trash. And the problem with that is that it will get you kicked off of Google, basically. Like you will lose your rankings. If you have a website that's already rocking and rolling, you're going to lose your website's rankings if you're just spamming it with a bunch of junk. And today's video is about avoiding that pitfall because you don't need to do that. You can actually avoid creating horrible content just by doing a few things. And that's what I wanted to show you today. So before we jump into the actual creation, I just want to show you a little proof because if you look over here at Ahrefs, we can look at the keyword tool and we can see that BuzzFeed started doing a lot of AI content in the last year, and it was like low quality stuff. I don't know what they were doing, but they actually have ended up losing 1.6 million keywords, which is right over here, and they've lost over 1 million visitors of traffic per month. So that's like a 12 million traffic loss over the course of an entire year. So that's pretty bad, and it's completely avoidable. And I just want to show you because Google did a helpful content update. I think it was back in October. They did one in the spring. They did another one in October. And another winner is Reddit. And if you were to basically put the two side by side and one, like, ask yourself, why does one do better than the other? Well, it's pretty obvious because if you don't know what Reddit is, it is entirely human focused content. It's people asking questions, answering questions, getting help, giving help, advice, all that kind of stuff. And for it to gain 296 million people a month going to it just in the last 6 months alone and gain 38 million keywords, well, I think that kind of tells you something, and it kind of tells you what Google is looking for. Google is looking for human content or AI content, but above it being human or AI, they care if it's helpful, if it's actually bringing value to the user. Because in the end, Google doesn't really care who created the content. As long as it's good and helpful, they will show it to the people. And to just talk a little bit more about that, Google has their version of AI called Bard. Bard is just as powerful as ChatGPT, I guess. And they're not against you using AI content. There's a lot of AI content detectors out there that are kind of hit or miss. They can't really tell the difference. Like if you were to compare an SEO article that you would buy online from like India or something and then run it through an AI content detector, there's a good chance that it's going to come back saying that it's AI created. So it's not really about it, whether the robots wrote it or not. It's more about the intent behind it. Is it filled with useful information? And is it plagiarized? Because if you are copying content from another website and you're kind of doing this like low bar thing where you're like, you ask AI, like, write me a blog post on car maintenance, it's just going to like pull from what it knows. And let's face it, cars are awesome. They whisk us away on adventures, carry our precious cargo. Like, this is not going to top Google when you look for car maintenance. Because if you were to go here and actually look on Google for car maintenance, number one is Kelly Blue Book. Let's see what this looks like. Everything you need to know. And this is like a full breakdown of car maintenance. Signs my car needs maintenance. Where do you go? Checklist. Monthly checkup. What do you do for every 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, long-term checkups? I mean, this is useful. And this could have been written by a bot and it wouldn't matter. And that's kind of my point. That's what I'm trying to get across here, is that it really doesn't matter who wrote it as long as it's good and useful. So we could take a look over here at ChatGPT. And actually, I want to show you guys a site. Let me do that first. I'll show you the site because I'm going to do a test article with you. So I have a site, if I could spell it. And I've been using this method on it for the past 4 or 5 months. I don't add a lot to it. I've just been slowly building it up. But we can see here that in September, we'll go actually August as around the time that I bought the domain. So it was at around 62 visitors a month, organic pages, 18 pages, and traffic, average paid traffic, average organic traffic, 62 a month. I said that already. So September, we dropped down to 19. And then you can see here in October, we jumped up to 75, 256, 341, 396. And right now we're showing 526 keywords, 391 people per month visiting the site. So what I'm doing is working. It's moving the site in the correct direction. We want it to pick up keywords. We could look over here at the calendar and we could see that it's picking up all sorts of keywords. How to adjust hunter sprinkler heads. How do you adjust? Simple drip irrigation. We're number 1 for that. Of course, we lose some, but then we gain them back. Hunter sprinkler head adjustment. I think I just saw that one. But generally speaking, we're moving in the right direction. And I just wanted to show you that it's not that difficult to do yourself. You just have to have the correct strategy involved for getting the correct people to your site. Because ultimately, your business, assuming your website is a business, you're trying to pull in the correct traffic for the people that want to buy things that may or may not know that they need to buy something. Because nobody wants to be sold something directly. They are usually doing research and they're trying to find an answer to something. So if you're trying to find the best rain sensor for a sprinkler system, you would stumble upon my site. And yes, it's very basic. It's pretty ugly, but it gets the point across and it helps people find the things that they're looking for. And that's what this is all about. So I want to do a new article. And we need to do a little keyword research. So let's go ahead and do that. And maybe we could just find something by sprinkler controller. I need to do a little hunting, and I figured I'd bring you along for that hunt and the creation. So let's see here. Heads, yeah, Let's go to... Let's look up Scott's Lawn Care. All right, Scott's does a lot of lawn care, maintenance, and stuff. Now let's pop their website into the tool. And let's see what we come up with. Okay. Turf Builder. So I'm looking for something that is not branded. I'm not super interested in Scott's fertilizer because I probably would never rank for this, even though it's a relatively easy keyword to get and has good volume to it. I'm clicking on the wrong thing here. Pretty good volume, but usually with the direct, when you go for like Scott's fertilizer, you're actually going to get just the product. So you get a lot of these things that take up a lot of the space, and there's usually an ad, Scott's, bunch of Scott's products, them again, Home Depot, Scott's, Lowe's, and then look at this, Reddit, which is doing so well. Walmart, Scott's. So it's pretty impossible to get for the top 10 for this. So I think we need to come at it from a different angle, and we're going to look at something more like overseeding lawn. Now, I believe I just did a post on that. So let's just take a look here. Oh, I didn't. All right, so that's what we'll do. We'll do something on overseeding a lawn, how to overseed a lawn. Overseeding lawn. So let's take a look at this keyword. See what the top result is. Scott's again. When to overseed. Why would you overseed? Okay, and that's pretty short actually. So what we're going to do is we're also going to dive into the questions, because when you dive into the questions, you can see that the competition drops dramatically. So does the traffic. So this might not be the best keyword actually, because for 300 people a month searching it, we're at a KD of 24. That's pretty high. And it kind of tapers off pretty quickly into like zero traffic. So maybe overseeding is not the right thing. Let's see what else we got. Let's try this. Shouldn't have closed that window. All right, so we've got overseeding, fertilizer schedule. Interesting, fertilizer schedule. That might be a good one. When to fertilize, images, the spruce, Jonathan Green. Okay, I probably wouldn't be able to rank for this. It is very competitive. Bob Vila. We're not beating Bob Vila. When to aerate lawn. That's pretty high though. Let's try this. We're going to sort this down to a 10. Go by volume, weed and feed, And it just takes a little time. So if you're hanging out, you're enjoying this, make sure you smash that like button. Just bringing you along for the ride. Spring green lawn care. That's interesting, but I don't think that's what we need. Dehatching rake. Interesting. Dehatching. Let's look at this. Lawn dehatching. How to dehatch a lawn. Interesting. Videos. Got some YouTube videos. Got some ads. This is probably pretty competitive. Miracle Grow. Best weed killer for lawns. This is interesting too. This might be a good product one. And I hope you guys are seeing that the intent behind best weed killer for lawns actually translates to somebody wanting to buy weed killer. So we've got sponsored ads. This is very competitive. Home Depot, lawn. But let's see. Let's take a look at this keyword. Maybe we can find something that's a little, even though it's easy and it's got good volume, I don't think we're going to show up here just because it's so many like products and stuff. So let's just see what else we got. I just saw a liquid. Best liquid weed killer for lawns. Now, the volume's not great, but we've got a traffic potential of 5,700, so that's pretty good. That means that this is pretty much going to pull in a bunch of other keywords with it if you can rank well. So let's take a look at this. Lawn Love, that's from November. We got the snippets here. Golf course lawn store. Liquid weed killer, lawn site. See, this is more our speed. Something that was posted in 2016 and ranks number 4. And this is a forum. So that also just goes into what I'm talking about in terms of Google liking helpful content. They're pulling in forums above Home Depot. All right, so let's do an article on this, and I'll just take you through the process, all right? So I'm using the Bing Copilot, which is this within the Edge browser. So if you were to download the Edge browser, this is a free add-on, Bing Copilot, and the strength of it is that it actually browses the web as you browse the web. So you can actually talk to the AI while you're looking at something. And this is kind of what the power is. The power is that I can have the AI pointed at the website that I want to do better than, and I can use that to kind of spear me ahead. So let's see, we could generate a page summary. So what it's going to do now is it's actually going to analyze this page and give me a page summary. So let's take a look. Actually, while that works, I'll also show you ChatGPT. So I'm using ChatGPT 4. This is the paid tier. You absolutely don't need to do the paid tier. You can just use 3.5. I like this because you get the browsing and analysis. So it actually does browse the internet if you want it to. And like when you use these AI systems together, you can get an excellent result. So let's see. So we've got, okay, page summary, great. Now let's go back to Google because let's see, best liquid weed killer. Too many windows. All right, so we've got this forum that we just pulled from here. We've got Home Depot, best weed killer spray for lawns. So let's do, first of all, let's open this in Edge browser so that everything's in one place so I could go back when I need to. So best weed killer for spray for lawns. All right, so here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this and I'm just going to drop it into a text file. So we've got our first chunk of data here from that first forum. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean the slate and I'm going to ask it, please analyze and summarize this article about the best liquid weed killer spray. And we're just going to load this text doc with like a ton of information and then feed it to ChatGPT. But in the meantime, while that does that, we're going to go over here and we're going to say research. What makes for an excellent liquid weed killer spray? And this is the cool part about this, is that it's actually browsing Bing. It's going to find, I don't know why it's looking for the best ingredients, but let's see. While that works, we're going to hop back over here. We're going to copy that. I'm going to put it into our file here. And then I'm going to put that to the side, just has a little space. And let's see. So we're talking about the most reliable lawn care products. These are types of killers. Okay, we've got a video. Benefits of. So you see how each heading is a question? This is why it's going to rank super well, because it's going to answer the questions that people have. So now we're going to go here and we're going to say, please analyze this page and summarize each subheading, actually, and extract each subheading from the article. Let's see if it'll give us a list of these. And while that works, we're going to jump back here and we're going to see that we've got, so we've got basically a product list. Okay, so now we're going to say research the, okay, if you were, and this is, I know I'm jumping around a lot, but you need to have a communication with the AI. Like the whole thing is a conversation. You're going back and forth and you're asking it pointed questions to drive it in the direction that we need it to go into. Because if I were to just start a fresh chat, if I just did a fresh chat and I said, write me a blog post on liquid weed killer, it's just going to pull from whatever information it's got. Gardening is a delightful hobby, it's not going to be what we actually want it to be. What we want it to be is a deep conversation and it to actually be an intelligent article that is beneficial. So if you were looking for why would someone look for a liquid weed killer? And what frequently asked questions can you think of about liquid weed killer that a homeowner would want to know about? Let that finish, and then we'll ask that. Now we've got this isn't exactly what I wanted, but that's okay. We're going to put it in here anyway. And we're going to say, analyze this page for the, analyze this page and extract the questions. Okay, so back over here, people might opt for liquid weed killers. These are the reasons why. Precision, targeted application, efficiency in large areas, versatile, better coverage, systemic action. Okay. Let's get some more questions out of it. We're going to grab these questions out of the article as well. Of course, these aren't all the questions, but that's okay. That's okay, because we're actually going to pick it up here where people are asking, you know, it's going to ask, how do you use it effectively? When do you use it? It's like, I didn't even feed the AI these questions yet, and it's already solving it for itself. Because you can see here, they're very similar. And this is just, again, this is just pulling from what I asked it to research. But the power here is that I've asked it to do the research. So I'm having like a session with it where I'm not training. I'm using the AI in a way where I'm training it in this conversation. Because no matter what you do when you talk to ChatGPT, it's not going to carry that information over into another session. This is a singular conversation, and I can ask it to hold information and reference information from it, and then write me the article from what I give it. So with that said, I'm going to copy and paste our little text file here. And we'll just wait for this to finish up, and then we'll send it. And I'm going to drink some coffee. Let's see what else. What else can we do? So we're going to start, while that writes, we're going to do the best liquid weed killer for, well, weed killer. We want our keyword. Best liquid weed killer for lawns. Best liquid weed killer for lawns. Going to make sure our slug matches that. Best liquid weed killer for lawns. Perfect. Publish. That's still going. But this is all really good stuff. This is the good stuff. This is the article that's going to rank well. And it's really going for it. Oh, it timed out. All right. Let's see. I can't. I have to let it redo it, don't I? Ah, that's too bad. All right, so while that runs, let's continue looking around here. Maybe there's another keyword that we could look at. Best weed killer for southern lawns. Oh, interesting. So people are wondering the different Florida. So it was probably like south, north, east coast, west coast, stuff like that. So let's incorporate that into our article. Best weed killer for southern lawns. Let's see what comes up. Interesting. It's just straight up product. Lowe's, Lawn Love. These guys come up a lot. Amazon, Lawn Site. This is that same site. Reddit, Spruce. So they're doing really well. And this was written in 2019. Let's see, 2023. We've got our top picks. And these are very basic articles because you could see here, like, all that they're doing, they're not really providing helpful information. It's just a list of what they're saying is the best, which is completely subjective to begin with. By all means, like, when you're doing these things, like, I do have a lawn and I do actually use these things. So you can test them out, make sure it works, make sure you're not selling people junk. Like, you want to actually be helpful. But what you can also do is just provide an informational article and then have, instead of like a list of 10 weed killers, you could just have like one or two that you've actually used, and the rest is actually helpful. And if you think about it, you can actually do better than a lot of these sites, because that's all they're doing here is they're just kind of spamming up. They're just like, Lowe's is probably an actual search result page. Yeah, there's nothing here. It's kind of a very, very basic rundown of the types of, fungicides, compacted soil, herbicides, crabgrass, stuff like that. That's not the best piece of content for somebody looking for best weed killer for southern lawns. Like, that is very specific. And you look here, this is just generic as well, because we're not providing any information about the South. Like, what are the pests that are found in the South for people's lawns? I bet you if I search this article, let's see, southern, here we go. Okay, so they've got an actual product that is geared towards southern lawns. See? Let's take a look at this. So maybe this is one of the products that we promote because it's literally for exactly what people are looking for. That's not it. Let's see. This is it. So you could use this product. You could just write a really helpful piece of content about it and then link them to this, and you would make money. All right, let's go check on our article. Let's get back to this. So, all right, so that is there. I'm going to paste in the text edit file, which is all the information that we've got. And it's just going to spout back basically what I sent to it, sort of like an acknowledgement that it understands what I'm asking of it. And then I'm going to say, let's see, please use everything in this thread. I wanted to use everything in the conversation to create an outline for a blog post that we'll write together. I need it to be helpful. So please include sections that ask and answer common questions regarding the keyword best liquid, what was it? Best weed killer, best liquid weed killer for lawns. And then after that, we can work some of the southern stuff into it as well. And let me show you, actually, I'll show you on the side here, since we're waiting so much. I'll show you on Bard that we could do something similar. And Bard's free too. Nothing special here. But I can ask it, best weed killer for southern lawns. Let's see what it comes back with. Okay, so it's basically giving me a list here. All right. What is special about weed killer for southern lawns? Right? Because we want to find out what is it about a southern lawn that needs a weed killer. So these are specifically formulated to target weeds without harming the delicate grasses. Okay, so it's a more sensitive killer. See, this is information that we want. So we can actually copy this and feed it back into ChatGPT here. And you can see we're getting an outline. Understanding weed killers, the benefits of using liquid weed killers. How do you identify them? Factors to consider. When is the best time to use them? Are they safe? How do you apply it? This is going to be the better article than somebody that just goes to ChatGPT and asks it to write a blog post, right? It's just going to say, a sentence about each thing. Read labels carefully, wear protective gear, avoid overuse. This is not really useful stuff. This is the useful stuff. All right, so let's say, all right, now please include a section about southern lawn weed killers and analyze this data. So just give it a whole bunch of information. And let's let it get to work. Great. Warm season grasses. Explain the predominance of warm season grasses like St. Augustine grass, centipede grass, zoysia grass, southern lawns, and their specific herbicide sensitivities. This is the good stuff. And as you can see, each piece of art, each piece of content, it does take a little time. You have to be willing to put in the work, and you have to be thinking about what it is that you're asking it to write, because if it's following my direction, it's not really doing everything on its own. So great. Now please remake the outline and include this useful information. Introduce the topic of lawn maintenance and the role of weed killers. Outline the aim of the blog. Understanding them. This is the good stuff. And while that's running, I'll just show you a test piece of content, because we're actually offering this as a service now, where basically the keyword research is done for you. You give the URL for the website that you're running. If you've got a local business, or you run a dentist office or you run a bowling alley. It doesn't really matter what you're doing. You can send that in and get pieces of content written for you. And I believe I have it set to a 25 limit, 25 to 50 pieces of content. And you can just have this done for you where basically the keyword research is done. We get the intent behind what it is that you're trying to get out there. And then we have articles that are written just like this. I'll show you a finished product. This is for how to hire a tree service. And this is kind of like the outline stuff, but we can dig in and we have like how to hire a tree service, comprehensive guide, got an intro, quick tips, assessing tree care needs, finding, getting multiple quotes, all this stuff. We do a table as well, conclusion. Actually, I'll show you guys the table stuff. The table stuff is pretty cool. All right, so please go ahead and actually let's do, make me a table with liquid weed killers and with columns for the best use case per product. Let's see how it does with that. And the visuals really make an article stand out because, first of all, it's easier to read. It gives you something to put your eye to that's not just a ton of text. And not only that, but you can actually use it to really sell a product, which I should have had it do here, but let's add it. So great. Whoops. Great. Please remake the table with a blank column on the far right called price. Let's see, with a column on the far right called price, and put the words check price in each row. I hope you guys are digging this. I hope you're sticking around because I think this is great stuff. But this is how you get ahead, and this is how you build a website. And this is actually how you get traffic to the website, because you need to have a content strategy with whatever it is that you're trying to do. You could put up a very basic site. It doesn't have to have 1 million pages on it, but it does have to have something there that Google can glean from, something there that Google has a reason to push people to your site. So as long as it's helpful content, and you can see it in a lot of these websites. Like if you were to go, I think it's Crest, their blog, like Crest, obviously you probably know them pretty well. Their blog, I'm obsessed with it because they do such a good job. Like if you just go to their website, okay, it's just a bunch of products, right? But let's see something. Crest, how to detoxify. Let's see what it comes up. Let's try detoxify. Whoops. Crest detoxify toothpaste. Colgate, Crest. Now that's a product. Let's take a look here. I'll show you this. Crest is killing it because they're doing exactly what I'm talking about. They're building out, and if you look here, now they gained in the last 6 months almost 80,000 people a month going to their site. Scope mouthwash. Where was it? I was just here the other day. Teeth sensitive to cold. This is great. They're #1 in Google. 5,400 searches a month. People complaining about their teeth. And guess what? Guess what this is? This is a blog post with a bunch of questions, a bunch of helpful information about what could be causing it, what you can do about it, a remedy. This is what you could do. This is what you could do. And look at that. They're selling you toothpaste. They're selling you ways to protect your teeth. They're giving you products that are literally gum sensitivity products. And sometimes I wonder when I'm at the store and you go to like Target and you see like there's 50,000 different types of toothpastes at this point. It's like, why does anybody need 10 different toothpastes at home? I don't know. But I have a feeling it has to do with meeting this demand. Because as the internet becomes more deep with like how specific it gets, there's just going to be more and more products to fit that demand. Because it just makes sense. We need a toothpaste for teeth that are sensitive to cold. And this is what they're doing, and this is what I'm trying to do here with my article. So, all right, so we got our thingamajig here. That's great. I'm just going to go ahead and copy this. And I'm going to put it on my page, first of all, just so it has a resting place. And I'm actually going to go back and edit this because I don't want it to get confused about the tables that I had it spit out. I want it to pick up from the outline. So please use this outline. Please use the outline you created to write a super detailed blog post. Let's just see how it does with that. And don't get me wrong, sometimes it's a mixed bag. Sometimes you have to rerun it. Sometimes you have to prompt it in different ways to get it to write in a more human sense. But usually, generally speaking, once you give it this much information, it's pretty good. So let's see how it does. And while that writes, I'll yammer on some more about Crest because they really are killing it. And it's all this is all their blog. This is all blog stuff. So if you're running if you're a lawyer, so let's do like divorce lawyer, right? So I just want to show you guys, like if you own a business or you work for a business, these are people that are paying for ads here. Law offices, okay, sponsored, divorce attorney, and then find a divorce lawyer. So this is an organic result, but it's for the bar. And then we've got Forbes. You might be wondering, why does Forbes have this article? Why does a news site have this article? And it's because they're making money. And that is what they're doing. They're doing the exact same thing as well. They just have a very powerful website so that they could show up as number one. And they're showing you the best divorce lawyers in New York City for 2024. It's only January 8th, but we've already got a list for 2024. And look at this. We've got our featured partners. We got people trying to push divorce because all of this pays. This is all an ad. And just to show you how much that pays, I'll just show you here. So this is what people are paying for the ad. To run an ad for a divorce lawyer, you pay per click. They're paying $14 a click. So if I go here and I click on this ad, this guy is going to pay about $14 at minimum. Well, it could be more or less, to be fair, but he's going to be paying 14, 15 bucks. And there are keywords out there where the keyword is worth way more than that. Like you could just do lawyer. Let's just see what shows up for lawyer. $4. Okay, so let's do personal injury. $17 a click. So what's better? Is it better to show up number one for personal injury, pay $17 per click, right? Pay all this money to be here, sponsored, or have an ad running at all times, getting charged all that money? Or is it better to have a really strong site that does it all for you for free? Free in the sense that the content is there. So like, okay, so would you ever show up number one for personal injury? No. And that would be crazy because you're not going to beat Cornell or the New York City Bar Association or Wikipedia for personal injury. However, what you do is you do research and you start to look into the smaller keywords with less keyword density. And you start to find out, well, that's a bad example, but let's see. Let's pull in a site. Personal injury, law.cornell, 26 years in business, 38 years in business, Stillman and Stillman. Let's see these guys. Okay. This is why these tools are so powerful, because you can actually look at what everybody shows up for. Stillman Law Office. Okay. Bronx personal injury lawyer. 800 searches a month, 19 KD. That's out of 100. That's pretty low. Right? This guy could show up so much better if he had a piece of content that was just for Bronx personal injury lawyer. And the CPC, cost per click, showing here, $31. So somebody's paying almost $32 for this keyword per click. They certainly are. This guy is. And let's see here. I'll just check it in SpyFu. We'll see if the number's the same. Sometimes it's very different. $23. So similar. $23, $24, $31. It's pretty close. It's all a bidding system, so it's always going to change, but these CPCs are pretty high. And the keywords are pretty. Bronx slip and fall lawyer. KD of 1. If they just did an article that was about slip and fall. Slip and fall. So they have one instance of it being said here, but you could do a whole article based on slip and fall. Let's see. Yeah, see, like, it's too bad this doesn't click to an actual page. Oh, it does. Here we go. Slip, trip, and falls. Now let's see if this page actually ranks. Let's see. It does. But they're showing up position 85 on a KD of 1. So this article itself could just be a lot better. And you could do a lot better. I didn't see this happening. You could do a lot better with just better content. Just more pointed content that is, you know, literally laser focused on slip and fall. All right, so we're going to let this run. And if you guys want to check that out, I'm going to have a page linked down in the description. I'm still setting up the page as of right this moment, but by the time this video goes live, it will be there. And if you want the content package, if you want to do something like this, you want to give it a shot, it'll be there. I think I'll do a tier for a starter piece of content as well. That way you could just get like a tester if you want to do a tester for your site, and then I'll have a couple larger packages there. The wait time, because this is kind of time consuming, as you can see, the wait time might be a couple weeks, probably 3 weeks, 4 weeks. It does take a little time. I do have some outsources that I work with, and It's good stuff. It's scanned. We check it for plagiarism. We make sure it's good to go. Make sure that it's in as good of a position as it can be to rank. Of course, I cannot guarantee anything. There's a chance that your page might not rank at all. I'm not going to promise you anything. I can't promise that. There are websites that are out there that happen to be very junky. They have a lot of crap on them. They used to have crap on them, whatever it is. There's nothing I can do about that. So that's why I can't guarantee anything. But if you're looking to build a business, if you're starting from scratch, you're trying to do something new, or you already have an existing site, sort of like these guys here, and you're looking for some extra content to put on there, kind of like the crest example, and you're looking to build it out with some additional things, because you can look at this page here, and let's see how much traffic's going to this page. This page has like 0 traffic going to it. And this crest example has almost 9,000 people going to it a month. Just taking care of their teeth because they're sensitive to cold. So the difference is pretty stark. And in my opinion, my humble opinion, this is a really good way to go about it, because I've been doing this for like a year now and my sites are doing pretty well. And you could just look at Low Flow Sprinkler Pros. It's not a special site. It's nothing crazy, but you can literally watch it. I bought it, I think in August or September, and I started adding content to it. And everything comes as a TXT file. Basically comes as a TXT file. You load it up on the site. You have your guys. If you have like an IT team, they can load it up and should be good to go. Anyway, I'm going to keep fighting with ChatGPT in the meantime, and I'll put that piece of content up here on the screen again so you can take a look. This is a typical piece of content. Could also look here. And we've got gardening enthusiasts, all kinds of good stuff. Cutting tips, table. Let's see here. Do I have another one? Let me check this one. This one's for lawn care for prices. So this is the start of the article. Quick tips, factors, average pricing, pricing structures, all kinds of good stuff. So if that looks like something of interest to you, check out the site, and I'll be back with another video very soon. Let me know how you like this. If this was helpful, if this was really boring, I need to know. I know it's kind of a rambling session. I'm jumping around all over the place, but I think it's useful. I think it's good stuff. And I think if I can help somebody out there that's trying to put their business in a better position, I would love to do that. And this is a good way to move ahead. If you're looking for a place to start, we look at the data, we check what the keywords are, we look at where everything is and where it's going, and we try to get the number one spot. Of course, it depends. And as long as you put the good stuff out there, it should rank. It should make its way to the top. Anyway, I'll catch you on the next video soon. Bye.